guys and girls. Today you join me back down on the River Severn, only this time, believe it or not, I have got the lures with me. This is my first dead bait session of the season, and something that I've promised myself to do more of. I've got to concede, you know I love my lure fishing, especially jig flies, because they catch or can catch loads of fish. But predominantly you don't see lots of big fish coming out that way, and I have to concede that yes, I do see a lot more anglers catching a lot more big fish more than smaller jack pike. Let's face it, jack pike, they're absolute idiots. They are absolute dickheads, and they're just bonkers. Whereas the females are a bit more clever. They kind of know that to go for dead bait or an injured live bait, if you like, is going to use far less energy, and that's what they tend to do. Now, I'm already seeing fish activity in the sides. There's loads of fish bubbling down the middle. The river's gone down, but it's still about 3 foot up, and it's coloured. So what I've done, last season I could not stop watching Lee from Obsession with Angling. If you've not seen his channel, I suggest you go and watch it. The guy is absolutely phenomenal. Some of the fish that he's had out of those drains are just awesome, but he is a really good angler as well. Some great hints and tips. There's books of his you can buy. The YouTube videos he does, they're just really informative, but a bloody good watch, to be fair. So go and watch. I'll put a link on the description if I get a video out. But he uses sardines a hell of a lot, and anyone in the Black Country especially will know a certain angler by the name of Brian. I'm sure he'd never say this himself, but he is a predator specialist really, and he's a big fan again of sardines as well, along with other dead baits. But he's caught on sardines an array of fish that you wouldn't necessarily associate to sardines, so he's kind of like proved a lot of myths wrong really. So I am fishing one rod on a sardine, float fished, and the other rod on smelt, so two really smelly baits. To be fair, they're from last year, or the back end of last year, so they are roughly a year old, but they're all right. They're not frost burns or anything like that. I've got some roach in the bag as well, but I'm probably not going to use those because of how coloured the water is. It's all about scent, and anyone that's used dead baits, or if you don't know, smelt is very like cucumbery kind of smelling, and sardine is just sardine. It's gnarly. Your car will stink of it, you'll stink of it. But yeah, I've come down to where I'm at, and it is like a mud bath. Bless, I can see the anglers that are here before. I've tried to make the best of a bad situation, and make a carpet out of chopped down trees and whatever from the willow, just to give something better to stand on rather than the mud. The issue you've got there now is all that's covered in mud, and when you get whipped by the branches, you just get caked in strips of mud. So yeah, but currently 13 degrees. I thought it was going to be colder, so I put my hoodie on. I'm already sweating, so that'll be coming off in a minute. And a right good old natter to Martin, who runs the venue. It's Day Ticket Water, and obviously he's told me about a few fish that have come out, but with the rivers being up, it's been a bit unfishable. So I was kind of hoping, and there is no den, I've got the place myself at the moment, no pressure. I can move a couple of spots, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm on my preferred spot at the moment, but I think I might back into the more of the dead arm just in case I've pushed further in. But I am seeing loads of fish activity. There's some fish crashed over the back, and I'm quite sure that there's a pike chasing them, and there's lots of bubbles coming from the mid-flow. Now, with the river being up, I guess you'd expect bubbles coming from the ground because there's more pressure on the mud on the base of the river, releasing pressure. But they seem to be spread out. It's all over. To me, it's like this bream have moved in there fishing, or carp, maybe a barbel, I'm not sure, but that does indicate fish. There's fish around, so therefore if they're around, the predators usually aren't far behind. Now, there are loads of jack pike down here. There are also some mid-range pike, and there's some big pike. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple of bream munchers down here as well, and hopefully they're following those fish. So I'll move my baits around a few times, leave it, see what happens. If nothing produces, I'm going to like hopscotch couple of pegs down and try further up the dead arm, but hopefully we can get a fish out. Before I forget, Penny, your dad has challenged me to get you onto some pike this year because it's a fish you've not caught. So chances are I won't be able to meet up and go fishing with you because obviously school holidays and so forth, yeah, might not be able to meet up that way. But what I'll do, Penny, is I'll let your dad know where I'm fishing now, so that if he's got the right fishing tackle, oh, the bite, bear with me. That is a bite and it's sailing away. First bite of the day. Circle hook, so not to snatch. It's gone under. Fish on. Yay, first fish if it stays on. It doesn't feel big at the moment. Oh, it's bigger than I thought it was. Oh, now I can feel the weight. This is on the circle hook smelt. That does look like a nice fish actually. Oh. Not huge, but definitely not a tiny fish. There we are. That might be the fish Brian had last week. I can see some of the line there as well. That's not my line. It's not quite got the strength to pull the drag, but got enough to hold back. And I'll drop the handle in the mud. No, 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 no. Stop shaking your head. Stop it. Stop it. Go on. Are you in? No. Oh, you bugger. In the net, get in. Oh, fantastic. First fish on the deads, yay. Right, absolutely lovely fish. Not best pleased at being caught. And I think this is the fish, Brian, that you had last week. And the wound is already looking better. But see if she behaves. No is the answer. So, if I can, keep it as low as I can. The hook right in the scissors. But yeah, this is absolutely lovely fish. And there is damage. You can see down the side, and Brian caught this. This is definitely the same fish Brian caught last week. And to be fair, some of these wounds are looking a bit better, and I've got some treatment with me. See, it's worse there. I'm not sure if this can't be from spawning last season, but what a cracking fish. But I will get some treatment on this fish first before I stick it back in the water. So I bought, it's the propolis stuff I've got with me. I've always got some with me. Give it a good dosing. Kept her in the net for a while. So there's no issues me having a couple of seconds, well, to sort these wounds out. And he's quite prolific, to be fair. I'm putting absolutely loads on, to be fair. just because the one, especially on the tail, it looks red raw, but nothing like it was last week. So she's obviously healing up. I just want to give her that extra bit of protection, really. Right, there, let's get her back. Good old bait runner, didn't even see that going off. Fish on. Oh, bugger. Fish off. Cack. Oh, it's off again. This is bugging me now. Right, I will pick up where I left off, as I was pleasantly surprised by a fish. Yeah, Penny, Alan, I'll let you know where I've been fishing. Alan, I'm pretty sure you'll know where it is, but if you can get Penny down, I'm sure you've got the right fishing tackle. If not, you can use my stuff, mate. Oh, I thought it was another bite then. But yeah, I'm quite sure, get Penny down here on the live bait or dead bait. Alan, I know your daughter's outfished you loads of times, so I'm pretty sure she'll come down here and end up having a £20 pike out and just completely smash everyone's PB, which would be great to see. Would be great to see, but not that I'd be jealous or anything. But yeah, so I've had a fish. I've reset, cast out. I've come back to my chair. I can hear me bait runner zipping away. I don't need an alarm down here, it's quite quiet. I've gone over. I may have reeled in too soon. I should have let it go a bit more, I think because I'd heard the bait runner going before I've seen it going. I've just automatically thought it's been going for ages and I've reeled in too soon, so it probably didn't have the bait far enough in its mouth, so it's disconnected. But it had taken the bait, which was another smelt. Sardines had no action so far. So I've reeled in, put another smelt on, cast it out, but further over the back towards where the fish was going. And I've put the rod into the rod rest. I've just set it. I've noticed the tip of my rod's bounced twice. I've looked back and the 40 gram float disappeared. And I've literally just, I've got a 3.5 ounce weight, 40 gram float, plus the sardine all splashed in one spot. It would have made some racket. You'd think it'd scared anything off, but obviously not, because that float just dipped off and gone. I've gone to pick the rod up and the float's bobbed back up like in Jaws with them barrels, and it's just sat there. So it's one or two things have just happened. One, it's robbed the bait, or two, I've spooked the fish. So I might have to reel in and recast or rebait maybe. If I'm still getting no action on the sardine, I might take the sardine off. It could be they are too old, but they do still smell, so I don't know. And if I do take the sardine off, I will be sticking a smelt on, because that's what's doing the business at the minute. And I've seen a pike come to the surface with a fish in its mouth as well. So the fish are definitely active, but whether they'll be active in my area long enough, because the bait fish might disappear. But let's crack on. Oh, we got a bite, we got a bite. Floats up in the air. Go on, sail away, mate, sail away, please. Let me have another fish. I don't leave it too long. There is a fish there. Nice. Big lunge then. Nearly caught the kingfisher as well. Oh, you... Oh my God. That was my fault. I'd let pressure off. That was completely my fault, and that felt a nice fish. Oi, 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 oi. So folks, that is the end of today's session, and to sum it up, it's been a lovely nightmare. I mean, basically it's my first deadbait session and I've caught a fish, so of course I'm going to be happy. Unfortunately the fish was battered and it's also sloppy seconds. I say that, our mate Brian caught it last week, the exact same fish, and he put the picture up on FaceAche. And of course everybody got their own ideas on what the cause of damage, but I think I'll be inclined to agree that it probably was angler's error. I don't think it's floodwater issues, because where the fish come round to, it's a dead arm, there's no issues, it just floods, but there's no pressure, no strong rapids or flow of water. Obviously it's not spawning, because that was a long time ago and those wounds are pretty fresh. It could be a boat, maybe. I mean, there's that option, but then you tend to see what do you call it, stripes down the side of the propellers caught it, quite evenly spaced, so I don't think it's that. So yeah, it kind of does point back to angler's error, I think, or poor angling, should I say. So whether they didn't have a landing mat or they've dropped it on the floor, I don't know, but again, I'm only guessing. Who really knows? But the good thing is I've put loads of treatment on the fish to help it get better. So I keep looking away. I've still got my floats. I've reeled them right in just before I pack up completely. So the one just keeps bibbling. But yeah, so it is what it is. And to be fair, I'll show you the image now of Brian catching that same fish last week. So that's Brian catching the fish last week, and I have asked his permission first and just whack it up. So he's all right with that. But just to show that it was the same fish, and they do heal. They do heal. I think it did look slightly better, but it was in quite a bad situation. So, and then basically, I've had 5 runs. I've lost 4 and I've landed 1. And the biggest kicker was that one at the end, where I'd lost. You didn't get to see the fish at all. And people are going to say, oh, you're chatting, Steve, but thing is, for those of you that have caught whatever sort of fish that it is, when you've caught enough, you know when it's a jack, a big fish, or a bigger fish. I'm not trying to claim this as a 20-pound pike by any means, but it's definitely a bigger fish than the last one I caught. When I've lifted the rod and sort of gone into the weight of the fish, if you like, I could just feel the strength and the weight of the fish, and I couldn't pull it up. So yeah, so I'm absolutely kicking myself. And the thing is, I'm going to probably have a couple of dreams about that fish now and now, but in my head, in my dreams, I'm quite sure it's going to have me having a fish out here, and I'll be waking up all depressed. But yeah, absolute nightmare. But it is what it is. I'm going home, I've caught a fish. I did make a couple of mates whilst I was down here, which I'll show you in the video just after this. I always find nature great to sit and watch, and sometimes if you sit and you're quiet enough, things will come quite close to you without you knowing sometimes. I just like to absorb it all, and great reset today, but I've got to get back now. So I'm not sure when I'll be out next. I might be able to pinch a couple of hours on Friday. I'm with the day off, meet up with Lee Rudge if he's available, just to pop over to a disused nature reserve that's got some fish in, if we can. Failing that, it'll be next week and we'll see what happens. But other than that, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in a bit.